Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We can't go out, man, forget my peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man, so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
God bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Jess.
God bless football, Chris.
God bless football, Lucy.
God bless football, Roy.
God bless hockey. Oh, football, sorry.
Oh, wow.
Classic.
Yeah. Classic Roy.
I was the caboose in this situation, so.
Willow's here.
We're not doing this.
No?
No, God bless football.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No.
That was the bit.
Well,
It's
bit,
over.
If we're going to be
Show's the
honest,
show. The show's
you were,
over.
I thought you were going to interrupt and be like, what are you guys doing? We're not doing this.
What are we doing?
I've done that before on the real God bless football and it doesn't go over well.
Yeah, but this isn't God bless football.
That's
so,
because we're doing God bless football when you do it.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
followers, Billy.
Don't
We're
don't
following your lead.
don't
Yes, we
tune
are.
out. Yeah, no, but the bit that we discussed was like, we're pretend, and then everybody gets mad, and then Chris is like, I'm in charge here. This isn't God bless football.
I want to have fun, though. Come on, let's
Yeah.
do this. Let's do GBF.
We did it. I mean,
That's it.
Well, we can still have fun, even though
So we go home now?
no.
I'm tired.
You know, we had a pact, Stugotz.
God bless Friday.
We had a pact.
God bless Friday.
Fridays we end here a little bit earlier than usual, and I tried to get everyone to agree to a pact before the show. I don't know if you were here, where we all agree that we can all politely just leave when this is done, and we won't feel the social pressures of hanging out and talking to each other. Like, we can just go on with our lives and go home.
Why? Do you guys feel some amount of pressure after the show to chit-chat, some small talk?
No.
No, but I feel like I should say yes.
No.
But at least if we have the conversation, like, hey, I won't be insulted if you leave, then everyone can leave. And also then I can just leave. And I don't.
So we're saying goodbye right now.
Yeah, goodbye to each
All
other
right.
right now.
Bye,
Have
but
a great
also-
weekend.
Hello,
You
no,
too.
but hello to the listeners.
Yo,
Hi.
yes, of
And
course.
welcome to your nightmare. I'm in Dan's seat.
Oh, no.
Dan's nightmare.
Yeah.
Wheel of
Well-
topics?
Well, hold on. Okay, so here's the thing: is I have a number of games that I'd like to play today.
Right.
With Stugotz, I want to do the One Moment Hall of Fame, which I told has been going on since yesterday, behind the scenes between Stugotz and Jess.
Yes, I said Reggie Miller's in the One Moment Hall of Fame, and so that's
This is so offensive. He had a
What?
great career.
No, he did not. Name something else he did in his career outside of those 9 seconds at Madison Square Garden. Name one other thing.
Also,
I dare you.
Three-pointers.
Chris, you
Anything.
can make your own list. We the One Moment Hall of Fame also led into a bleed over conversation of like a potential 2-moment Hall of Fame.
Yes.
But we'll get to that later.
Yes.
The other game Billy wanted to play was one that we couldn't decide on if we should play or not.
I have at least 4 games, plus the one that we don't know if we should play or not. So I have End of Discussion, which we stumbled upon in God Bless Football because Stugotz
Right.
just said an argument and then he said End of Discussion. And I'm like, well, then I can't say anything. Like, the conversation's over. So if you guys here or at home or whatever want to play along with these games, think of some End of Discussions that you can just – it's basically you make a statement, end of discussion.
So I
And then you
made a
can't go
point
anywhere
to
from
Billy
there.
and Mikey A during God Bless Football, and I said, period, end of discussion. There was a minute left. Like, we
Yeah.
had to talk, and Billy wouldn't talk because he said the discussion is over.
Yeah,
So.
spoiler alert. if you
So
haven't seen it.
Alexander Barkov's
Sorry.
going to win the Selkie Trophy. End of discussion.
Well, hold on. There's music for End of Discussion.
Oh, there's music?
I didn't know we were playing End of Discussion right now. We also have
just gave you an
Closing the
example.
Loop that we're going to get to. We have
Wait, what's closing the loop?
Closing the Loop is an important game that I feel like we should play
question.
every Friday, whether or not I'm sitting in this chair where we kind of – I'll give you an example, Chris. Do you have the music for Closing the Loop? Okay, so Closing the Loop, I'll give you –
Oh, for crying out.
All right, it's time for Closing the Loop. So in Closing the Loop, I feel like this is a great opportunity for us to bring back a topic that was discussed earlier in the week that we can close the loop on today, Friday, so it doesn't carry over into next week. So I'll give you an example. Earlier this week, Stugotz revealed, unintentionally, or maybe it was last week, but we're closing the loop anyways,
Right.
that he wears a hoodie without shirts underneath.
I did. Yeah.
Shocking revelation.
Yes.
That was earlier this week, I believe.
This
Yes.
led to some debate amongst the crew. Some people were kind of confused as to how you do this. Other people say, no, I do that. That's not that crazy. So yesterday, I was in the This Is Crazy camp for just wearing a hoodie without a shirt underneath. Yesterday, at home, I decided to do this, Stugotz,
Okay.
because I felt very judgmental, and a lot of people were like, what's wrong with you? So I wore an oversized hoodie. I bought a 2XL because I wanted to feel like I had a boyfriend.
Right.
Hoodie.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wore a 2XL
And they're not
hoodie.
making XLs like they used to. I mean, they're just not.
Yeah.
Right.
So I put on my 2XL Under Armour hoodie, Under Armour if you're out there, without a shirt
But you
underneath.
bought a new hoodie just for this?
No. I bought this hoodie when it was on sale, but I bought it extra big because I wanted the feel of a nice, big, comfy. Like if
Cozy.
if I had a boyfriend and I took his jacket, like because my wife will steal my hoodies sometimes, and it looks so comfy because they're so much bigger than her.
So you wanted to feel like her.
Yeah, so I bought sizes too large, so I would have the comfort of the loose-fitting clothes.
On sale, though.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Clearance, yeah.
I think
Have
I'm
you ever
cool.
purchased anything not on sale? Like at retail, like at regular cost, or no?
I try not to. I try not to. Here's the thing. The price is just a suggestion because there's always a way to get that object cheaper. Anyway, so I put it on without a shirt and it was fine.
Thank you.
Close the loop.
All right, good.
That's
All right,
it.
that's a good loop.
End of discussion.
If
I
you guys
mean,
no.
it feels like you ended it. It does.
So if you guys have any loops you want to close, just let Chris know. We can play the music. We can close the loop. If you want to end any discussions, let us know. Also, here's the thing that I'm most worried about because I saw the schedule.
Yeah.
And I saw that Stugotz was going to be the one in here today.
Yep.
And I said, Stugotz, if you want, like I can go and I can sit in the studio. And he said, perfect, you're driving. And I
Yes.
wasn't expecting that.
You should have.
So my main concern was that we were going to be accused with not talking enough sports today.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to come up with a segment and a game in which we check the boxes scores. So we check the boxes scores of covering sports, and then we go around and we talk about things that happened last night. So I don't know if anyone here wants to volunteer to be the person that checks the boxes scores, and they just kind of tell us what happened in the sporting world last night, and then we discuss the boxes scores.
Okay.
All right.
Well, the Rangers won in overtime against the Hurricanes last night.
They did. They're up 3-0.
They're up 3-0.
What was the
like
score?
it was 3-2. Won in overtime.
The bread man.
Bread man.
Yeah.
He scored a game-winning goal.
Very
Yeah.
early in
Love the
overtime, by the way.
bread
Very, very early
Yes,
in overtime.
because the last game went to double OT. This game was over inside of 2 minutes inside the first overtime.
Yeah. So it's the Hurricane season. It's over.
So the Rangers are through to the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll wait. They are. I mean, they're up 3-0.
Yeah.
Carolina's not coming back. They'll await the winner of the Panthers and Boston. A big game 3 tonight.
Now, this is good.
Ooh.
As a Panther fan, Carolina's kind of had our number over the last few years. So I actually, even though the Rangers seem a little scarier on paper, I would rather face the Rangers than the Hurricanes.
Well, they swept them. The Panthers did last season in the playoffs. So we kind of had their number last
I
season.
That
know
was last year.
I know we got them in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
That's a different game.
But overall, of all the teams in the East, I feel like Carolina's had our number. If any team's had our number, it's been them over
Well-
the last couple of years, outside of the sweep.
I don't know. I think the Panthers going to beat Boston this series, and they didn't
Roy's
beat
just
Boston.
Roy's
in
not
the
afraid of
regular season.
anything. Roy's not afraid of anything.
No.
I mean,
Absolutely not.
you're just I don't dude,
I'm
you're
fearless.
you're too confident.
You're not fearless. I don't
Billy,
understand who you're putting
Are we
this on.
allowed to do game analysis during this game, or is this just like we read the box scores and then we move
Right.
on
This is
to
a
the next
pregame
game?
kind of, right?
Checking the boxes scores?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you
I
can
think
check-
checking the boxes is just checking off all the things you're supposed to hit.
Yeah, which is
You know?
sports,
So-
but we're doing it with box
Right.
scores. That's
Should we do
there's
it
the
with
name.
things that we are actually going to talk about in earnest, or are we, is it a segue into a better, longer conversation?
No, you can discuss.
Okay.
I'm not
So
here.
we're doing it the right way.
Yeah, we're doing it the
All
right
right,
way.
good.
There's another
Okay.
game that we were afraid to play that we discussed before the show, and the decision wasn't made before the show, so I don't know if we should carry the conversation onto the air as to whether or not we should play the final game /bit. The bit
Well.
was Wheel of Topics We Won't Discuss,
Oh,
in which we spin
like
the
it.
wheel, and if
Yeah.
it lands on said topic, we can't discuss that topic.
Can we try it out?
The only reason I bring it up is because hockey was submitted to that wheel.
Ooh.
Now, it didn't necessarily land on hockey because we haven't spun the wheel yet.
Yeah, you can check that off now.
Had we started the game, though, and we spin the wheel of topics we won't discuss and it lands on hockey, though, we can't talk about it. So,
But we already talked about it.
yeah, so it was
So-
lucky that we got that in case we
What
spin.
else is on the wheel?
Let's just spin the wheel, see where
Let's
it lands.
spin it, right? Spin it.
Okay, here we go.
Friday, though.
Stu?
Comedians.
Huh. All right.
So that means we're not going to talk about that.
Well, we can't.
We can't talk about it. Yes.
We'll get to it next week. We didn't end that discussion. That's a different game.
All right.
This is just a wheel of topics.
Can't close the loop.
It
on that.
feels
So
like
I
if you
got
land on
We'll
a
never
topic,
close
it's
the
end
loop.
of discussion, though. Right?
For the day.
For the day.
Doesn't carry over.
There's always Monday.
Well, there's
Exactly
there's
right.
a tie-in to another game when you spin the wheel of topics we're not going to talk about. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Nice synergy there.
Should we try it again? I mean,
Already?
Spin the wheel.
spin it. Jess?
Ooh, it landed on the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to discuss that today.
Well, end of discussion.
No, that's another That's another game.
That's the same game.
Yeah.
So we can't discuss that.
Yeah, but let's stop spinning the wheel because we're going to run out of things to discuss today.
Yeah, get back to it
I'm
later.
not certain we'll run out, but okay.
Also, later today, I want to play a game. It's not really a game. It's more of a conversation where we discuss the proper way to eat a sandwich because I saw a picture of someone in the way that they cut a sandwich, and it's not a way that I've ever seen before. And they were saying this is the proper way to cut and eat a sandwich.
Well, it depends on the sandwich, right? Like, what if it's a hoagie as opposed to a grilled cheese? Loaf of bread.
No, well, we mean more like the regular toast.
Oh, regular
Yeah.
toast, okay.
Wow.
I mean, is there more than one way to cut like a sub, like a hoagie?
No, there are some places that cut at like a diagonal on the hoagie.
I don't like
want my
that.
hoagie at a
Right.
diagonal.
Cut it in half.
Yes, that is such a good point.
Two equal
Like,
halves, please.
a square sandwich, diagonal all you want. A sub, a 12-inch
I
sub.
totally
If you
disagree.
angle cut that, you are a monster. You know that first bite is so weird?
No, the pointy bite?
No, I hate the pointy
The
bite.
pointy bite
pointy
is the
bite,
starting
the-
point
the
of the bite.
I love the
items-
pointy bite.
Yeah, but if the bread's not good, the pointy bite is
Yeah.
not
Well,
Well,
great.
I'm
yeah, that
under
could
the
cut your mouth
assumption
open,
that
yeah.
it's good bread. Like if we're talking about bad bread, then that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love I like that there's more I don't know what to call it. Like the part of the sandwich where you can see the filling. I like that there's more of that surface area with the diagonal.
But you
cut.
pick it up, and then like Stu said, that pointy end. If
Yes.
like I'm with you. If you got great bread, maybe you point cut. But hey,
Right.
most of you sub shops, you don't have great bread.
So, Jess, they don't know great bread. In New York, even in Chicago,
has the best everything.
it does. Well, Chris, it does. It does.
I'm so tempted to
And the
put
best
New York on
basketball
the wheel
team.
of things.
Yeah.
we
Hey,
can't
hey,
discuss
now,
today.
come on now. Hey.
New York really does feel like Stugotz. Can you make a
the
list?
bread is better. The pizza's better.
Oh, the
water is
it's
better.
the water.
It
Yeah.
is.
Why is it? The minerals? What's
That's
going on
why you can cut it the way Jess likes it cut in New York. The bread's always good. You can't do it down here.
Stugotz.
bread man.
Different bread.
Thank you.
End of
Overtime winner.
discussion.
here?
Oh, hold on. All right.
Serious.
All right. This escalated very quickly.
Well, end of
yelling.
sandwich discussion, but I
No,
also
it's not. We don't have the
not
picture
end of
yet,
New York
yeah.
discussion yet because I saw a video yesterday. I don't know if this was recent or not, but this video really disturbed me. It's Clyde Frazier eating fries at a Knicks game. It appears. And the way he's doing it
Whoa.
is
You can't
unlike
do that.
anything I've ever
He's
seen.
like he's holding the cup up, and he seems to be gnawing at the cup.
He's eating more cup than fries.
Like there's a wet ring.
He's eating it like it's a sandwich. He's eating a cup of fries like it's a sandwich.
I feel like if you're sitting courtside, you got to do all your snacking in between, like when you go underneath. Like I just if
Never
I
eat
ever
courtside, right.
sat courtside, you would
Yes.
not see me courtside eating a hot dog.
Right.
I would be one of the people that accidentally spills something on the court and they have to stop the game to like come. Like,
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more.
happens to I think Mike Ryan's daughter like spills M&Ms all the time or something. I don't know if that was an off-air conversation, but this is really alarming. And to me, it seems like a guy who doesn't want to get grease on his fingers because he wears really nice suits and nice clothes, and he doesn't want to get grease on his clothes, which I understand, but it is a very strange visual.
So if you're sitting courtside, is your play let me be as weird as possible or let me be as normal as possible and blend in? Because I feel like I would want to just blend in, but then like, why did I spend so much money? Like,
I think it depends. Like if you're a celebrity, you're there to be seen, right?
Yeah, so do you think he
We're not
really
trying
eats
to blend
fries
in.
like that, or he's just doing that so hoping someone... I mean, he's old enough that I don't think he's trying to do that for attention, right?
MSG is basically his living room, right? Like
Correct,
he's
yes.
not. This isn't
No,
like
it is his living room.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Not basically.
he's just comfortable enough where he's gonna do his thing there.
Imagine going in pajamas because you're so comfortable and it's your living room, and you're just like, I'm going to be maximum comfort here.
Walt Frazier should show up at BJ's.
Yeah, so we have the picture of the sandwich if you want to get to the sandwich now, because I feel like there's no point in going back to it later because we already got off all our
It's the
talk.
end of discussion.
So here in the left is the new Duff Cut, which is this Y-shaped triangular thing where you're instead of 2, you get the 3.
Nope.
Yeah, it seems crazy
I like
to
a
eat
Duff
it that
cut.
way.
It's better than the Chef Gruel.
But no one...
What are we doing here?
Why a Duff Cut?
Who is Chef Gruel?
Isn't that the top one? That's what
No,
that
but
says.
why a Duff Cut? Why is it called a Duff Cut?
the guy's something Duff or Duff
They're
something.
Guy's
they're
name is
like
Duff.
they're TV chefs.
No, it's not.
No?
It's not that Duff. It's some other guy. Just
well,
Duff.
Chef
different
Gruel
Duff.
is a TV chef.
Well, he's a
I
monster.
think.
That doesn't make any sense. He's cut 1/3 of the sandwich.
Yeah, thirds, periods, if you will. Hockey.
I think it's one of those things you do. You stamp your name to it. You get credit for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with a cut.
Are you?
Yep.
I don't think you will.
A stew cut.
And what would your stew cut be?
80-20 my way.
Yeah, exactly right. His more as the Chef Gruel looks like the stew cut, where it's 80% and then 20%. Yeah.
I'll cut the crust off.
Now,
I don't
now
like
you're
crust.
there
now
we
you're
go.
talking.
I don't
Yeah,
like crust. I'm not a
yeah.
crust guy.
Have you ever? Okay, this is actually like brings back a traumatic babysitting story from when I was like 13. But I was babysitting these kids once, twins, and they both hated crust. So the mom asked me to make them peanut butter jelly sandwiches, but cut the crust off. And I was like, okay, no problem. The problem was she left, and when they wanted the sandwiches, I was by myself. And I opened the bag of bread, and the only pieces left were the 2 ends of the bread.
Oh, my God.
And so I told the kids, and these kids were like really little, and I was like, hey guys, like, unfortunately, this is the only bread your mom left for me, and it's the ends of the bread, so it's all crust. And they're like, we're not eating that. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Because I can't like cut the crust off because it's all crust. And they were like, well, we're not going to eat the crust. So I had to like peel the layer of like brown crust off of the ends of the bread for them to eat their
Bad
sandwiches.
parenting. Just leaving you with no bread for the kids.
Oh, it was
Jeez.
devastating.
Terrible.
Do you guys ever eat the ends of the bread? Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
If it's toasted, I like a little crispy, I'm kind of like Jim Nance. Like I'll eat like a super toasted piece of end of a bread.
I usually don't, but like if I'm like really, really hungry, I can toast it and put some butter on the good ends, and then I can, put it down.
But you have to be really hungry and desperate.
I don't want to say desperate, but I'm also a bit wasteful guy. You know what I mean? But I do more often than not throw away that last piece on
Okay.
each end of the bread.
All right. So which game are we playing?
Well, no, I mean this is supposed to be a sports radio show. It's not just games. I was just
Right.
listing the games that we had. Should you want to get to them, we could get to them. These are opportunities, avenues, if you will, that we could travel down to get to these games. The One Moment Hall of Fame, something you said you wanted to do. And I was kind of, when Chris was saying the whole New York thing, I was wondering if you wanted to make a top 5 list of things that are better in New York, that New York's the best at XYZ. Because basically anything that's mentioned, any New Yorker will say that's better in New York, no matter what it is.
I would just say that the pizza's better, the bread is better, the water is better, the delis are better. That's about it. I mean, the football's certainly not better.
Ooh, Hall of One Moment, Aaron Rodgers on the Jets.
Wow.
Well, he won a Super Bowl.
But I'm saying
No,
Aaron
the
Rodgers on
Jets.
the Jets.
Oh, okay.
So he had one moment, right?
One moment Hall of
One
Fame.
moment
So
of the
far,
Jets.
I mean.
Right.
Literally one moment.
Yes, amazing. Had 3 plays in 1 moment.
None of them were Hall of Fame worthy, though.
No.
The most memorable thing he did was run out waving the American
That was
flag.
the moment to me.
I'm
yeah.
confused as to how to play the 1 moment Hall of Fame because Reggie Miller, everyone thinks he's a Hall of Famer. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Well, Dan doesn't.
But I'm saying, well, Dan doesn't, right? But he's defined by that 1 moment. Like I could do 1 moment and say David Tyree. No one thinks he's a Hall of Famer, but
That's
he had
a one moment.
That's
That's
one
a
moment.
one moment, yeah.
1 moment in time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one moment. Reggie
Okay.
Miller had multiple playoff series, was like an all-time great shooter.
You don't remember any of it though. That's my
true.
point.
But I know he's an all-time great shooter.
Right. He was 12-33 against the Knicks on the road. He had 1 moment. 1 moment.
Are the Knicks in trouble, Jess? I will ask you as the Knicks expert.
I did say yesterday, thank you, Billy, while you're sitting next to Stugotz.
Well, because here's the thing, right? If we're going to be honest,
It was perfect.
I feel like
So good.
Jess has seen more Knicks games than you just because Lehman puts on the Knicks every single game.
Yes.
So you are a bigger, an actual Knicks fan, but Jess is an actual
Unfortunately,
Knicks
I'm
authority
like a
this
hostage.
season.
You know the meme that's like, "Are you winning, son?" And it's like the dad walking in, the kids gaming. That's like me and Lehman's relationship. But he'll be watching the Knicks, and I'll be like, "Are you winning, son?" Anyways,
Is Lehman like a little boy in the sense that like he's just like so excited about his team still, and you're just like,
yes,
oh, Lehman, it's
yes.
just sports.
Yeah, exactly. But I said yesterday it felt like Game 2 may have been the apex of the season because the Knicks are dealing with so many injuries now, and they're going back to Indianapolis, and it's going to be really tough for them to do much more with the level. Like Jalen Brunson's questionable, OG's out for Game 3. It feels like Game 3 is going to be they're going to get the friendly whistle because of Rick Carlisle, but it just feels like, you know, this team's given New York a lot, but the amount of injuries that they've dealt with is going to be really tough to play through.
I would say this because I checked the box score. The Cavs beating the Celtics on the road last night, the NBA's freaking out. They cannot have Cleveland and Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, no.
This bodes very well for the Knicks either tonight or in Game 4. The NBA needs the Knicks to advance because of the threat of the Cavaliers.
I like that. That's a good conspiracy theory.
I have an end of discussion submission that goes along with this.
Really?
I mean, Juju has been telling us all season that there is something wrong with this Celtics team.
Yep.
There is something, and he is right. There is something wrong. End of discussion.
I don't know if that's the end of the discussion.
No, discussion's ended.
I'm just saying.
it's
It's
over.
1-1.
There's just something about this Celtics team. Everyone has them on paper as clearly the
Time
best
out.
team, and they
Yes.
can't stop farting.
You're right.
Respect the game.
Sounds like a problem.
Are you declaring the Celtics season is over? They're
No.
not winning a title.
No,
No.
but I just think that this
Well, then
is-
you can't end.
I don't
end
think
anything.
I don't think what happened with the Heat is they got Game 2 and then the Celtics blew them out the rest of the series. I actually think we're going to see a long series in this one. I think that's just like to Juju's point. There's something wrong with this Celtics team,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
can't even put my finger on it. But there's something wrong.
That's a different game.
Yeah, different game.
Can't put my finger on it.
Hey, yo.
I can
Get that
put my
next week.
finger on it.
What?
Go ahead.
Porzingis is out.
Oh,
I put my finger on
Your
it.
there
finger's
you go.
good.
Your
I
finger's
checked
on
the
it.
box score. I put a finger on it. We ended a discussion. What
Your
is going
finger
on?
is currently on it.
Did the Heat fans get like some satisfaction out of seeing all the Celtics fans leaving with like 4 minutes left in the game last
Yes.
night?
I
Yes.
did. I also got satisfaction out of hearing you talk about the Knicks injuries and because the Heat have been making these excuses for seasons now.
I don't want to hear about it.
I'm just saying it's not.
Same
it's
with the
convenient,
Celtics.
huh?
Boston
Hey,
fans.
hey,
No, we
I
have
didn't say it
Porzingis.
was an excuse.
We have 4.5 players.
But
I mean,
but the counterpoint there is also the Knicks are winning that series. They're leading 2-0 right now.
right.
And the Heat were like always down.
Also,
and that was
I
the
don't
reason.
think it's an
That.
excuse for roster construction or anything like that. I think it's just like a rational outlook on what the next what series
How
and
am
a
I
half
irrational?
may look like. Exactly. Whereas the Heat have been like, well, if we had Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, then like it wouldn't matter that all of our other role players are maybe not as good as the players that we could have gotten if we had done better to get them.
In defense of Heat fans, it's Jimmy Butler who's saying that. Are Heat fans saying that? Like, Chris, do you feel like if you had Jimmy
don't know.
Butler,
Where's
you'd still be
Jeremy?
playing?
I think the series. Yeah, I think we would. I'm not saying we would have beat the Celtics, but I think it would have been a longer series.
How's this going so far, Lucy? What grade would you give this?
Why are we talking about the Heat so much? They lost.
I don't know.
I've been
Who
thinking
brought
about
them
this
up?
for like a week.
End
All
of
we do is
discussion.
talk about
Hold
the
on.
Heat.
Hold on.
You can end it.
Let's spin the
End of
wheel.
discussion.
Lucy, what topics on there we can't discuss anymore today?
The Miami Heat.
Wow. Oh,
I
man.
drove Taylor into work
Damn it.
today, and
Thank
we were
God we got
driving,
it in.
and I literally said, I cannot do Heat talk today.
Did he?
I said it to Taylor, and he agreed.
This is Chris Cody's.
course he did.
Chris Cody's fault because we brought up the Celtics leaving, and he turned it into like, oh, this is a Heat thing.
When you talked about Knicks injuries, it opened the door for me.
Bucky Dent, 1 moment Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Thank you.
Speaking of Taylor, we had a conversation privately off air. Taylor's having a moment.
He is.
Very big for Taylor right now. His
Yep.
basketball
Because of the
team,
Knicks?
his
Yeah.
hockey team.
Yep.
Taylor's
Rangers.
already trying to get me and him to New York for the Panthers Rangers.
He said that you were going with Roy.
That what? What?
What?
I no.
Oh,
How about you get past Boston?
That is true.
Thank you.
What?
No, Taylor's already planting seeds. If you cover Rangers, Panthers.
Do you
I
have to
wanna
take
go.
a train?
You need a video guy? I'll go with you.
wow.
He's like, let's do the same game time bit. We'll take a train up there. It's not that bad.
A lot of opportunists around here.
Roy,
Yes, sir.
how's it going today?
Well, let's check some boxes, huh?
Oh, okay. I was just,
I noticed
generally
during the break
asking.
that Roy was doing that. He was checking a box score.
Checking
Yeah.
the boxes scores.
Yeah, I was looking at the Western Conference in the National Basketball Association. I saw that the Mavericks beat the Thunder 119-110.
Wow, knotted up at one game apiece, Roy.
Yeah, but that's some good knots.
Yeah.
Garlic knots. I
It's
love
a
that.
top 5 knot, yes.
Top 5 knot.
Ooh,
Roy, I want
knots.
top 5 knots, okay?
Slipknot.
What?
All right.
I want Roy to come up with top 5 knots because I was telling Roy that when you're down 1-0 and you tie like the Panthers were, and you tie a series up at one game apiece, okay?
Yeah.
It's all knotted up at one game apiece.
Yes.
That is a top 5 knot for me. How about that? Huh?
That's a statement.
Yeah.
By the way, Luka went 29, 10, and
Slip
7.
knots.
Slipknot. That's a good knot.
It's a great one.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
No, I heard
Well,
it.
you know,
And listen,
yeah,
Dead
I'm
& Company
sorry.
is coming up at the Sphere in Vegas. Help on the way, Slipknot, Franklin's Tower. Just unbelievable. And that's why I was thinking it.
Cat's
Sorry.
paw knot. I was on the internet earlier and saw that there was like a weird press conference moment last night with Luca. Did you guys
Was
see this
there?
video?
No.
No?
We should
We were
play
open
it.
shots. So just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay. Okay, moving on.
The okay from the reporter mid-question, where he's like about to ask a follow-up, here's moaning, and it's just like, okay, this is awkward. Now, has there been any reporting on this? Because this is either one of two things. Someone's messing with him, or someone's having sex in the other room. And I need to get to the bottom of it. End
Yeah.
of discussion.
No, that's not how under discussion
That's how
works.
it's working right now.
He
Well, we
wants to
can't-
close the loop on this.
But we can't
I mean,
answer you. We can't talk
speaking
about
of
it.
close the loop,
Yeah.
the guy who invented
hold on,
the
there's
duff
music.
cut
Hold
is
on, there's music.
okay. Sorry, my bad.
Respect the game.
It seems obvious that someone had a tab open on their phone, perhaps. Closing the loop, the Duff cut was invented by a guy on Twitter named Ryan Duff.
See?
Not Duff Goldman.
So this
that's
was an
what I'm
Amin situation?
Yes. It was.
Yeah.
This was an Amin El Hassan?
Yeah,
Someone had porn on their computer at work?
I believe so, yes.
That's great.
Yeah, but Amin was doing research.
I thought that was very obviously like teammates of his or something like messing with him, just like moaning in the back. I went to an all-boys school. These things happened, where you're trying to be doing something serious and then
Wait, you don't
just
think
that
it
would
was a
break out.
reporter's phone? I thought it was a reporter's. I thought it was an Amin thing. Like I thought a reporter had something
It's
and they
possible.
accidentally played
Now,
it
now
over
we're
the
playing a different
Bluetooth.
game.
They'd have to have it so loud.
Time
Oh,
to
yes.
throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
We're all good. You're saying Daniel Gafford was making sex noises while he was doing that press conference?
maybe.
I think we need to listen to this again.
I agree.
I want to
Please.
hear. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Do
Play it,
we?
guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, moving on.
Let's restart it.
We were open shots, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay.
There's an echo there, folks.
Well, hold on a second.
The acoustics in there.
Hold on a second. Because here's the thing. If Jess is right, then it has to be either the person that was asking the question or the people directly next to that person, because that person's holding a microphone. So the microphone picked it up. So if that is what it was, there's probably only 4 people that could have been responsible for that.
Luca's reaction here. We might need to watch it again.
Please, yes.
We were open shots, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay, moving on.
It feels like it may have been the person holding the microphone. The way like, okay, moving on.
I've got it. I got someone getting freaky in like a closet next to the.
I don't
next
think
to
it's
the
that.
room.
Really?
that's
Next
it,
to a
yeah.
press conference?
Yeah, just
Positive
like, you know
it's
what? The
not
game's
that.
over.
Right?
It's time.
They have no
I
idea
can't
what's
wait.
going on.
I can't wait till we get home.
Celebrate this
You
one.
think it was a
Seems like
play
a
or random
Bluetooth
people?
mishap.
I think it was people that work for the arena that are married also.
Oh,
so they
good.
were just like,
A
So
married
there's no,
couple.
They have
there's no
three-
infidelity.
they
yeah.
have 3 kids, and
Right.
the kids are all up. They just got a text from the babysitter that the kids are up, so they're like,
Can't get 'em
we're
to
not going to have
sleep."
another chance to do this.
But they
So-
both work there.
And then
Yes.
they just kind of do the thing to
Yeah.
the closet. There's a closet over there, so they do a little
Right.
head point.
Yeah. Go in there.
Next thing you know, we got this sound.
Really? That's what you think?
Two married stadium
Are you
workers.
ending the discussion? What are you doing here?
Just recklessly speculating.
Okay.
You're good.
I already said he's good.
So the Thunder lost for the first time in the playoffs, huh?
They did. Yeah, I'm tired of them. I mean,
The
Oh, yeah?
Thunder?
You're tired of
everyone
Thunder.
telling me, oh, you haven't watched the Thunder all year. They're so good. They're this, they're that. Luka is limping around like that. He looks like he's 77 years old, that guy. Kyrie gave him nothing last night. Absolutely nothing. They lost to P.J. Washington. I don't want to hear about how good Oklahoma City is. I am tired of the Thunder. I am tired of that team, and I'm tired of everyone telling me what I missed the entire season. I didn't miss anything. I missed a team that's about to get bounced out in the Western Conference semifinals.
What about SGA?
End of discussion.
Okay, I can't talk about SGA then.
Wow.
Well, now you can talk about SGA.
But
No,
got-
you ended the discussion.
I
we can
ended the
talk about
Thunder
the
discussion.
commercial,
Yeah.
technically, right, Billy? How does that one
Spin the
work?
wheel. Sorry, Chris. Oh, the commercial.
Oh, thank God.
Damn it.
Thank God.
Can't talk about it today.
SGA still available.
Okay.
What do you got?
Well, he went 33-10 and 33-12, and pretty much was the catalyst in that game for them. But they just couldn't finish, basically. So, like, don't blame Don't blame him for the Thunder's woes. In
I'm
this
not
situation.
blaming him. I just said I'm tired of people telling me what I missed all year with the Thunder. Like they were sitting around watching Oklahoma
Still
City
talking
Thunder
about it.
games all year.
Yeah. Can I ask you a
I
question?
ended it. That's right.
Yeah, can I ask? Yeah, we're very loosey-goosey on the rules of these games, and I don't respect
that's
it.
a different game.
Lucy,
Whoa, what?
Whoa. That's her game.
Oh,
I'm
that's
Lucy.
yeah, that's the other game, Lucy or Goosey.
I'm worried that people here don't know my name. It's happened so many
What's your name?
times.
Iowa.
Exactly.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Rodine.
Hey, you said it right. Thank you.
Dan calling her
I got
Iowa
you.
was an all-time show moment for me.
Doug Flutie.
My friends were there for that. It was
One
so
moment Hall of
embarrassing.
Fame.
Doug
What?
Flutie
Wow.
I have
Because
a
the Hail Mary.
I
yeah.
have a controversial one for you.
for the One Moment Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Really?
USA Hockey. 2-moment Hall of Fame or 1-moment Hall of Fame?
One moment Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
When they beat Russia
Yeah.
in the semifinals.
TJ Oshie.
It
No,
feels like they
TJ,
had
get
one and a
outta
half
here.
moments.
TJ Oshie's had 2 moments.
Enough. That was
Oh,
not.
his one.
In the
his
discussion?
moment wasn't a moment.
Well, he's had 3 moments, actually.
Oh.
that was
that's
a him
different
moment,
Hall of
not a
Fame.
U.S. hockey moment.
Wait, one of the gold.
No.
That was one of his moments. He
Yeah.
had another shootout moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
So
2 moments.
he's had 2 moments, but one of his moments didn't count
No, there's
For
a
the
third
US
moment.
hockey
for
moment.
the U.S. hockey
Correct.
moment.
TJ Oshie standing and making the entire table stand at Lake Tahoe for the national anthem was his 3rd moment.
Oh,
I witnessed
That's so
it.
niche.
I saw it.
You're there for that.
Stugotz.
Like he was
That's
sitting at
not
the
a
national
moment.
anthem. There were a bunch of food trucks out there. Oshie looked at his entire family who was not standing. He gave him the look
Wow.
that you
Why
give
were
when
they
you're
playing
disappointed.
the national anthem at like a golf tournament banquet, though?
I don't know. It was weird, but
Yeah.
Oshie, when an anthem is played, Oshie stands.
Was
Exactly
he at the table next to the sad Brian Kelly table?
Yes. Brian
Did Brian
Kelly was
Kelly
by
stand?
himself.
Just by himself.
by
eating.
himself. Classic BK.
I almost went over there.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. I got nervous.
Is that happening this year?
I hope.
I'm going.
Okay.
in the discussion.
For me.
So here's my question to you, Stugotz. So you said you're tired of hearing about the Thunder. You're tired of people talking about it, saying you didn't watch it all year. I have a suspicion that you want the teams that you paid no attention to lose immediately so you don't actually have to learn anything about them.
That would be most of the teams.
Yeah, but
Yes.
no, but then you can also be like, I told you.
Yes. I mean, of course, I'm rooting for myself to be right. Plus, I want to see Dallas in the Western Conference Finals. I want to see Luka versus Anthony Edwards in the Western Conference Finals. I do.
Do you?
I do. Segue. You were discussing doing a commencement speech at one point for your school, Clark University, correct?
They never asked, yeah.
But you wrote it, didn't you?
I started it. Stanzik wrote it.
You know what I'm just realizing, and this is just like something that I'm noticing on our end? You also promised Austin Eckler that you're going to write him a best man speech.
Yeah.
And he's getting married, like, soon. Like, this week
I
or
know.
next week, I think.
He's coming on next week.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's not coming on next week.
For the speech.
Yeah,
you're,
but
you're
haven't
invited
written
to the
that.
wedding, by the way. Billy's invited to Austin Eckler's wedding.
No, I'm not invited to his wedding.
I believe you are.
Let me explain to you how
What's the
wedding
venue?
invitations work. You get invited. I was not. So I'm not invited to his wedding. That's how wedding invitations work.
Did Stu get one?
You're my
No.
Billy's my +1.
But you didn't get one.
I got one.
My brother actually just got engaged.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh
Oh,
my
congrats.
gosh.
I actually,
Wow.
I have.
That's shocking.
He hasn't asked me yet. I'm just assuming. But I have in my future. I have to start thinking about writing a speech.
Well, he
Really?
hasn't asked you.
Nah, he'll ask.
But
me.
he doesn't have a date.
I asked him.
You're
Like,
good.
I don't know that many
That's-
friends.
Yes, Greg.
A bit presumptuous
Nah,
of
come
you.
on.
What are the other options, do you think? If it's not you, who
I
would
mean,
it be?
he's got friends, but I chose him. It's just what you do. He's gonna pick me. Look, I don't even need to debate it.
Wait.
End of discussion?
End the discussion.
Oh,
Really?
damn. I was going to say,
I don't
because
know
you chose
about
him,
this.
he should chose you.
Choose, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yep.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know about
if you
that.
have
Okay.
one sibling that you're pretty close, I mean, me and my sister are kind of the same way. Like, I was her maid of honor, and every time we talk on the phone and another one of my girlfriends is in the vicinity, my sister will blurt out, "I'll be your maid of honor when you get married, right?" Because she's
Wow.
like threatened, and I'm like, "Yes, Deb. Like, I'm not getting
Deb.
married."
And if you have a
anytime
good
soon,
amount of
but-
friends, it
Yeah.
actually takes the pressure off of
Well,
me.
not if...
I'm the
not-
easy choice. Like,
well-
I have to choose my brother here, even though I have close friends.
Joey.
No, that's my friend.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You had to choose your brother even though you had Joey.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah,
Well, here's the thing, though.
I don't wanna
Has
hurt Joey's feelings.
Has anyone else asked your brother to be their best man? Because then he has to return the favor
There's
to
an
two
obligation. Yeah.
No, he's been in some weddings, but never the best man.
people. So the pressure's on.
Usher.
He's like me. We're in a lot of weddings, but we're never the number one friend.
Yeah.
I don't want
We're
to
like
be in the wedding
We're
party.
like 7 people's third best friend.
Always
Always
a
the best
bridesmaid.
friend, never the never the groom.
There
Are
you
you
go.
guys
Bronze medal over here.
Are you insulted if you're not in the
I wanna
wedding
teach
party,
you
but you know you're supposed to be in the wedding party? It's a hassle. I don't want to be in the wedding party.
No, I want to be in it.
I don't want to deal
It's
with
a status
pictures.
symbol.
I don't want to deal with anything. I just want to drink.
It depends
Yeah.
too. Like if it's like a really close friend and your feelings are hurt, like sure, but it really is such a ordeal and it's so much time and effort and energy and money that sometimes it's a relief to be like, whew, I could just show up at 6 o'clock, have a cocktail,
That's what I'm saying.
watch the wedding, dance,
Yes.
go home, and I don't have to do shit.
The pictures suck. The only part about being in a wedding that stinks is missing cocktail hour for pictures.
Yeah.
If you do pre-pictures, then you're kind of good, but that's the only bad part to me. It's a status symbol. I like being in the wedding.
There's an obligation to be on good behavior. There's just too many
No.
obligations.
Not
you got to
for
have
Chris.
one crazy guy in the wedding.
You do,
Is that
wacky
you?
Guy?
No, it used to be. It's not
Wacky
me
guy.
anymore.
You used to be the crazy guy?
In his youth.
It is you. If you don't know you're the crazy guy, you're
No,
the
I'm
crazy
telling
guy.
you, I've toned it down at weddings.
Really?
I've said this before. In my early 20s, I was the first guy out on the dance floor. Nowadays, I'm just, I'm Will Smith and Hitch.
Fourth
just on
guy
the,
on the
just
dance
on the
floor.
You ease
outside.
into it, yeah.
I'm on the outside, just
OLI?
kinda like, just watching the dance floor, letting all the kids have fun. It's not my game
kids.
anymore. It's not my game anymore.
Actual kids?
No,
or?
like
25-year-olds.
the 20-somethings
Really?
they can get out there.
Kids like Lucy.
You're
Yeah.
calling. Okay.
But I feel like you look at them and you're like,
Oh, I want to be out there still.
I could show them how it's done.
I mean, yeah, I could
I've still got
So
it.
what's holding you? What's holding you back?
not enough alcohol, probably.
Really? There's I mean,
What?
open bar. There's
It's
enough.
free.
That's
But it
another
doesn't
thing.
hit the same, right, Chris?
Doesn't.
It's like it's got to, you get more discerning.
I feel like once you've been to 15 weddings, you reach a point of weddings where it's like, all right.
It peaks.
Yeah. Where it's just like these aren't.
Like
I
the
love
Knicks.
them, but they're just not as fun.
But I would argue.
They're a hassle.
I would argue though, there's also like a wedding window, right? Where like a lot of people are getting married at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's like that's when you're peaking, right? But like Chris, you're on the back end of
way
that.
way back. End.
Yeah, so then you
Now
can,
I might get one wedding a year.
I know, but that's why you need to make every wedding count. And you need to
Yeah.
bring back that Chris for all those weddings. People are expecting it. In fact, I would say that if your brother is asking you to be the best man, he's expecting
hasn't yet.
you to be the crazy one.
Yes.
And maybe here's the thing. He's not sure because of the way you've been behaving at past weddings if you
true.
still got it.
Right.
And maybe he needs his best man to be the crazy one.
I'll text
and
him
he
right
doesn't
now.
know
I
if you can
still
do
got it.
There's a movie.
No
in here
context.
No
There's a-
context. I still got it.
There's a movie in here somewhere. One Last Wedding. I mean, like, Chris, you can do it, but
No,
I
but
think you
this
have to
is a
show
s-
them on the front end that you can still do it.
No, but this is a cycle. You've reached the part where weddings you just hate them now.
Yes.
I'm in the part
not going
where
to weddings
I feel like
anymore.
that movie is The Hangover.
I don't dislike going to weddings anymore, but I'm just kind of over being excited about them. When you're in your 20s, you're super excited about them. Like that, it's all a natural part of life. What's happening here?
I want to close the loop on something,
Ooh, wait,
or
hold
maybe
on. Oh, wow.
close it and then reopen a different loop. What the hell are you going to write in a commencement address, Stugotz? What is your speech going to be?
I think we have one from an old. If you could find
So
it.
you're just
No.
going to use an old one. All right,
Yes.
that answers
He
it.
just
Yes.
changes them.
Are you going to be like the
No, no,
Ohio
no.
State guy who was like on ayahuasca or whatever?
I had a
You
great
see
one
this?
for
Wait,
the
what?
the Stugotz School of Broadcasting. You can find that one. It's great. It's really funny.
What happened at Ohio State?
So much happened at Ohio State. So
hey, it's Lucy.
Ohio State's graduation, they had some like Bitcoin crypto guy be their commencement speaker. He wrote the entire like speech on ayahuasca. He was having the crowd sing. Also, somebody died at this ceremony before it happened. So vibes were already, they were not great. He comes out, he's singing Little Light of Mine and trying to get the crowd into it.
Wait,
But,
we have
like,
video?
I
Really?
think there's video somewhere.
Great investors are open-minded and understand things before other people. So I know this might feel polarizing, but I encourage you to keep an open mind right now. I see Bitcoin as a very misunderstood asset class. It's decentralized and
He admitted to when he was asked to being the commencement speaker of not responding because he thought it was a prank. Like he didn't think they seriously asked him.
Hold on a second. So this guy went out there and he tried to sell people on Bitcoin while he's supposed to be giving a commencement speech?
And he sang songs.
He got booed by 70,000 Ohio State fans. And apparently, I read that the president of Ohio State, there's like a commencement speaker advisory board, and they recommend names, and they will like go listen to old YouTube videos of like different celebrities and politicians and stuff doing speeches to see who's good and who's bad. And then they'll make a list and give it to the president. And the president was like, nope, I'm going to have this guy.
They also said that Kirk Herbstreit is on that list every year, but that the people who pick are like, we don't know who this guy is.
Really?
We have no clue who
Herbie.
Herbstreit is.
Wow.
He just got strays for no reason.
Let me ask you guys a question. You guys went to like big schools, right? So are your graduations, because like at FIU where I went, there's multiple ceremonies, right? So like there's by different schools and they'll like kind of group a bunch of schools together. So like in a given graduation period, there's probably like 6 graduation ceremonies, more or less, give or take, right? Is that how it works for you guys too? Because then you'd have 6 commencement speakers. So you'd think that that's how like someone like him would kind of slip through the cracks where he's out there and he's trying to sell you on stuff.
Not to be a bummer, but I was a 2020 grad, so we got zero
graduation for
All we got
Lucy.
was a video of Ashton Kutcher being like, "Congrats, guys! That's really awesome."
That's pretty good, though.
Ashton Kutcher's probably better than this, but the COVID thing was a bummer.
Right.
To answer your
And
question,
then the whole
Billy.
Danny Masterson thing.
Oh yeah.
He didn't go to Iowa.
The
though.
letter.
That was yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
he took. If
Oh,
he was on
he
the
didn't
weddings,
graduate.
he'd be on the downside of the whole wedding peak. Yeah.
End of discussion.
I know Notre Dame's like pretty small. There's only I think 6,000 undergrads, so we have like one big ceremony in the stadium, and
For
that's
everyone.
like the main commencement, and then they're everyone's split into colleges,
Uh-huh.
and then you do your college commencement thing after, and that's when you get your diploma.
Wait a minute.
And our main
What?
speaker
Double
was.
graduation.
Give me one graduation
Well, this is
ceremony.
why Mad
Get
Dog,
me in and out.
Mad
Get me
Dog
to
was
the next
complaining
tops.
last year about
Right.
Notre Dame's graduation being too long, and I was like, Mad Dog, I agree. And it was also outside, and it was 40 degrees
Can
in
I
May.
tell you something? You know what I hate more than weddings? Graduations.
Oh, the worst.
Oh, graduations are terrible to attend.
It was cool, like getting my diploma though. Which is the thing about this weird guy is that like, okay, yeah, it's a graduation, who cares? But like, you know, there's people that like this is like a huge moment for them. Maybe they're like the first person in their family to get a degree, or maybe like they've dreamed of going to Ohio State their
Yeah.
whole life or whatever, and they're just like sitting there listening to this guy talk about Bitcoin for like 40 minutes while everyone's booing. It just seems like a miserable way to like end your college experience.
Also, once again, this all happened after someone died at the ceremony.
How did they die?
Someone fell like
Oh,
in the stands.
no.
It was very sad. And then this guy comes out and starts singing songs.
Why did they like?
He went in with an agenda, Billy, and he was unwilling to change
couldn't
it.
pivot.
Clearly.
Well, no,
Yes.
so they got like a copy of his original like speech, and there were so many things in there. They were like, "Oh, you can't say that."
Oh wait, hold on. So this is
cannot
like the
say that.
approved draft. So
Yeah.
he had more things, and then they're like, I guess we can let him sing because if not,
I believe like alpha male was like used in the
Oh,
in like
boy.
the original script, and there was like one line about like replacing the word racism with hate, and he was like, this man, he wrote so much all while high out of his mind, posted about it on his Instagram story, then came out there and just delivered a literal performance.
why'd they let him after they saw the draft? They couldn't find anyone.
Not Kirk Herbstreit. Not available. They
Guy
didn't want him.
Fieri was on the list too.
Really?
Of, like,
Really?
recommended- Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Interesting.
Buster
University of
Douglas,
Flavor
one
Town.
moment Hall of Fame. In a moment. Just one.
It's a good one.
Thank you.
Who were the people that you were going back and forth with Jess on this yesterday? Because you told me and
Me,
you
Jess, and
presented this
Taylor.
as though like you had so many of these one moment
I have
Hall
a
of
ton.
Famers.
Buster
I have
Douglas
a
a
ton.
boxer?
Yes.
Yes.
He beat Mike Tyson.
Oh, there are names, but you guys don't know the names.
That's a reference that I'm not sure
Let me try some names out, because
I think
Roy
I
might know
would've
these
gotten
names. Larry Mize, One Moment Hall of Fame. Do you know who Larry Mize is?
Golfer.
Won a single green jacket, had one shot, I think, on the 19th hole. They played 18. They went to sudden death. And he had one big shot, Larry Mize, won a green jacket. That's it. No one knows anything else Larry Mize has ever done.
Nick Foles?
Danny Willett. He had a moment, yeah. He's One Moment Hall of Fame. That's a good one.
Nick Foles
Nick Foles is one moment, not two moments.
Philly Special?
Yeah, the Philly Special.
That was the moment.
That's the moment, right?
That's the moment, yeah.
Danny Willett. You guys don't know who Andy Roddick.
No, that's a good one. Danny Willett's a good one.
Andy Roddick's a good one. Andy Roddick won U.S. Open. Name
No,
a
Andy
single other
Roddick.
big
He's
match
more-
Roddick won.
Yeah, he's kind of like Reggie Miller, where it's like he might have had like one moment like that, but he's relevant past that moment because of his body of work.
Kyrie Irving. He hit one shot. I don't want to hear about it.
Andy
One shot.
Roddick is in the International Tennis Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Can you be a Hall of Famer and be in the Moment Hall of Fame?
He won one major, the U.S. Open. That's it.
Yeah, but he's in the International
But he was still
Tennis Hall of Fame.
culture-
I don't want to take Andy
He was
Roddick out of the Hall of
culturally
Fame.
relevant, though. Like everyone
Yeah.
from that
That's-
era knows of this.
That's
person.
because U.S. tennis sucks,
Whoa.
especially on the men's side. Women, we dominate. Men's, terrible. One U.S. Open for Roddick.
But he dated Mandy Moore.
2 moments.
Reggie Miller also a Hall of Famer.
Shouldn't be.
Should Andy Roddick?
I don't want to do that to Roddick.
We talked to Roddick.
I
Is
like
he in
Andy.
one of your group chats?
Actually, let me
Yes.
actually, you don't want to do that to Roddick because you did something to Andy Roddick, and I don't remember if you did something to Roddick, and you really did something to me and Andy Roddick at the same time, which is we had an interview scheduled with Andy Roddick,
Yeah.
and then you disappeared 5 minutes beforehand and told me, much like today, told me you handle that and you interview Andy Roddick.
What?
How'd it go?
Well, surprisingly well, and I wasn't expecting to be interviewing Andy Roddick at the time, and I
Right.
didn't have enough preparation to do an entire Andy Roddick interview with him where he was promoting both pickleball and a pickle sandwich from Subway.
Helping you grow, Billy. Everything I do for you, Billy.
That
There's a purpose
is-
behind everything I do. So
Really?
when I do that to you, when I bail on you for Roddick, I want to say, hey, can Billy get himself ready and conduct a great interview with no warning, no advance warning? And today, since you brought it up, same thing. Can Billy pull an hour and a half of podcasting off with no advance
That's
warning?
good coaching.
And you are doing a great
That's
job.
good coaching.
Yep.
Coaching that kind of feels like it's last minute, but
Yes.
it's like it's all part of the big plan.
Right, because you never know when you're going to be thrusted into the number 1 seat, Billy.
I do know it's typically when I see the schedule and you're the number 2 seed.
I like this seat.
I'm
It's
aware.
comfy.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like you're doing any extra heavy lifting today.
No, I like it better when you're sitting in the 1 seat, too.
Why is that?
Less pressure for me. I mean,
Do you feel pressure still?
no. I'd be here more.
One Moment Hall of Fame, Stugotz co-hosting.
There you go.
I mean, I had a 17-year run.
You know.
I took out the last 3.
Closing the loop on the Ohio State commencement speaker, pretty weird guy.
Who is he? What does he do besides sell Bitcoin?
He's an Ohio State grad, and he like runs some like wristband tech company that isn't like
course.
well known or
Right.
very good. Or
But made him $1 billion.
yeah,
Right.
he didn't know how he ended up there. We don't know how he ended up there.
Well,
but
apparently the president of Ohio State's like a Bitcoin investor or
Oh,
something.
boy.
I read,
Jesus.
so
Of course
maybe
he is.
that was how.
Joe Namath, One Moment Hall of Fame. And it wasn't on a field. It was by the pool. I mean, Dwight Clark. Name
The
another
catch?
catch. Yeah. Name another one.
David Tyree, that's the other one.
When your moment
No,
is called
Dwight
the
Clark
catch.
catch. Right, that's
There's
it.
not another
You
catch.
peaked.
'cause
I'm
it's
looking
the-
up some of the more stranger people to give commencement speech. Jerry Springer once gave one.
I mean, I would listen to it.
I mean, he was a
probably.
mayor.
He probably has some weird things to say.
James Franco.
James Franco would be one of the worst commencement speeches to listen to ever. Oh my God. I'd rather go to a wedding. So the day's almost done, Stugotz.
Yep, just started.
It has just started, but in terms of like the show's day is almost done. And as we discussed earlier, as soon as this is done, everybody's just leaving. No one's saying goodbye to each other. We already said our goodbyes. That's it.
Yep.
Pack it in. We'll see each other on Monday. In Lucy's case, we'll see her probably in 3 weeks because her schedule is.
I'll miss you guys.
Yeah. Will you?
We'll miss you.
A little.
Oh.
Willow will say bye.
I saw Willow crossing the street because we have like a street cam today, and I was like in the room getting ready, and I just saw Willow like running across the cross. And I was like, oh, Willow. That was the whole story.
Hopefully Jessica was with her.
It's a great story.
Yeah,
brother.
no. Well, that's I'm gonna end that discussion immediately
good.
on Willow.
Short story short on that one.
Roy, before we go, can we check the box score one more time?
All right, we are checking the box score in the WNBA. The Dream and the Fever played last night. Shout out to Renee Montgomery. 83-80, the Fever won last night. Caitlin Clark went 12-8-6, but had 6 turnovers and went 2 for 9 from 3.
Didn't need to bring that up.
Not regular season though, right? Preseason?
Yeah, preseason.
Yes, preseason.
Yes. When's the regular season start?
Tuesday.
You excited?
Yeah.
I thought that you were getting the subscription for the season pass. You
I
said
am.
that yesterday.
I'm on it.
You don't know when it is, though?
I'm getting to it.
Yeah. I have a WNBA story. If
Her
you
first
guys...
game's on ESPN too.
Well, yesterday was for her first home game, but it wasn't,
Right.
you know.
It's on Disney Plus too. Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Most of their games are nationally televised, which is very cool.
That's awesome.
So if you want to watch Caitlin, you may not have to, but if you want to support the WNBA, you should.
I will.
Yeah, okay, good. Just kind of checking back in on that.
I'm excited to close the loop on that next week.
That loop will stay open forever. That we're never going to get like a full-fledged subscription from him.
Wow.
Guys, I was invited to a WNBA fantasy league this year.
What a cluster that was.
Okay, that's what we're going to get to. Our draft was yesterday. And full disclosure, I never agreed. I just received the invitation. Your draft is today at 7. And I was like, okay, I don't want to be the person that, holds up this draft, so I'll do this. Let's do this. So I start, looking around saying I'm going to do this. So we have a show, company WNBA draft that we're doing here internally in Miami. And the rules are a little bit different than most fantasy leagues that I've been a part of.
In that Rose is just making them up as she goes.
Yeah. Rose is the commissioner of this.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
She instituted a dibs rule.
Okay, Chris, you tell the story.
Sorry, go ahead. I thought we were, spackling.
So Rose is in charge of this fantasy league. She made herself the commissioner.
That was very Le Batard of him.
Tag team.
So
Seats getting to his head. I mean,
yeah. Sorry. I apologize.
it's okay.
Well, anyways, Rose made a rule because she wants Caitlin Clark where everyone gets dibs of the players that the first round pick that they want before the draft, and it's just because she wants Caitlin Clark.
That's not how drafts
That's
work.
what I tried to tell her.
Look, it's your fault for letting Rose run the league. Respectfully. Love you to death, Rose, but I would not trust you to do that.
Well, here's the thing, though. No one wanted to run the league, so Rose wants to do the league. She's going to run the league. So somehow, everyone agreed to this rule. Everyone was cool with this situation. So then
Was there a vote?
No, but she said everybody, you get dibs on who you want. I get Caitlin Clark. And then everyone just started saying who it is that they wanted.
What?
And
Based on proximity to Rose in the office? Is that how that worked?
I got there late. I was the 10th person to choose.
This is not how a draft works, though.
So there were there was 2 people who hadn't picked their dibs player when I got mine in, and Breanna Stewart was still there. So I got dibs on Breanna Stewart.
You got the MVP of
Correct.
the
Yes.
the first pick.
Yeah, correct. But if we're going to be honest, people were just picking names they recognize because someone got dibs on Diana Taurasi, who in our league was ranked 998th, so had no business being reserved in any way. So, anyways, we get to draft day. It's 7 o'clock.
A lot of players on that rankings list.
A lot of players in the league.
That's where she was when I put in her name because I was looking. I'm scrolling. I'm like, where's Diana? So
I think there's only 140 people on WNBA
I don't
rosters.
even think they finished making cuts yet either.
Diana Taurasi's having a fall, huh?
well,
You guys did a draft pre-cuts?
so yes,
Draft pre-cut, huh?
7 o'clock comes and it's time for the draft. I know I'm gonna get Breanna Stewart. That's my person I called dibs
called
on, and
dibs,
that's how
right.
this league works. You just call dibs on someone, you get them, right? So with the dibs system, I'm then asking Rose for follow-ups. Okay, so since we have dibs, are they just automatically on my team, or does this need to be my number 1 draft pick? Because if it doesn't, and they're on my team, she can be my last draft pick, and I can get more good players, right?
Yeah.
So I was told, no, you need to. Your dibs player is your first round pick, but you need to draft the person because Rose didn't know how to put people on your team automatically, right? So sure enough, the draft begins at 7 p.m. and Mike Malley, who does video stuff with us, is there, but he's not there. He has the number 1 pick and he's not in the draft.
Who?
Mike Malley.
Oh.
So Mike does not.
Miles.
Mike doesn't get in before auto pick.
Miles.
So his team auto picks Brianna Stewart. And I'm like, well, now what do we do? Because I had dibs on this
come
person,
on.
and
This
this
is
is the way this
ridiculous.
league works. So I had dibs on this person. So then Thomas, who also does stuff with us, helpfully suggested, well, because I said, what do I do? My person has now been picked.
Who?
Thomas helpfully said, you know what you do? You pick Caitlin Clark. And I said, that makes sense. So I picked Caitlin Clark with the 2nd pick in the draft, not knowing that Rose had the 3rd pick in the draft. So now Rose is very upset with what's going on.
Your team is stacked.
Oh
You
my
happy,
God,
Rose?
anarchist versus anarchist.
It gets worse.
This is wild.
It gets worse. So I don't know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on. And
No
then
one does.
Eventually Mike Malley joins and says, like, you know what?
Miles.
Like, I'm sorry I missed it. I was editing. I was working. It's like, no problem. He's like, just whoever had Brianna, just pick Diana Taurasi, and then we'll trade. I'm like, perfect. We'll do that. So my 2nd pick comes. I take Diana Taurasi.
Right.
Which, again, I had to, like, scroll all the way down to find her. It was crazy how low she was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Mike Malley's not going to have a good season if he's picking this with his reserve pick with his dibs. This is crazy, right?
No doubt.
So
Classic Eminem.
it's only like a 10 like person draft. It goes really quickly. By like 7:35 we were done with the entire thing. But there was like 8 people in our 10-person league that did not show up for the draft. So everyone's auto picking. So
Well,
then
because she changed the time, right?
it was 9 o'clock the day before, then it became 7, whatever. Jeremy didn't show up on time. Chris, I think, got there like in the 3rd or 4th round.
Jerry Bear was supposed to get Asia Wilson. I don't think he ended up getting
He
her.
didn't because he wasn't there on time, so his team auto-picked someone else. So then we have a
got her?
conversation. Rose did.
Oh.
That's another thing. Rose is now picking people who had dibs on them.
Roy,
Which
Rose,
she's breaking
do
the
you see
rules.
now-
Yeah, Roy wasn't there.
Rose, do you see now why dibs is not a thing in fantasy?
So
Thank
She
you.
ended up with the other MVP. in the
Rose
league, though,
Rose
so.
goes and she picks someone that she's not supposed to pick. So like we know as commissioner she can go and she can undo these things and she can just reassign people to her team. She has this power. She doesn't know that though. So we're just like with this trade system. And this is where things got really bad and frustrating is that everyone that was there was like, you know what? I'm going to respect the dibs, which again is crazy. I'm going to respect the dibs. Just trade me this person for the person you had dibs on. It's all good. We're going to go. But no one knows who anyone had dibs on. So enter Juju, who just starts sending everyone trades for their best players and saying he had dibs on those players. And Juju now has this stacked team because he took everyone's dibs players right after the draft in maximum confusion.
We got to redraft.
He
Let's
then just
redraft.
goes
Let's
and
redo
starts
the
saying,
whole
I
thing.
had this person,
redraft,
I had
no.
that person's mine. And they're like, okay, like in the spirit of
He
goodwill.
just has the starting 5 of the aces.
Yeah, he has a ridiculous team because he just said that he had all the dibs players and everybody not knowing, we're just like, okay, Juju, like I trust you, and send Juju all their best players. So then we're like, Rose, you can just go and you can reassign these players to the teams that had dibs on them. And then Juju's like, well, I don't think that's fair.
I'm so glad
So
I
now-
said no to this league.
So now Rose doesn't want to do that.
Are you happy, Rose?
I'm so glad I didn't get an invite.
Well, here's the thing, though, because I tried to do my trade for Brianna Stewart for Diana Taurasi,
right.
but because she's
Wait,
the best
time out.
player,
You tried to trade Brianna Stewart for Taurasi?
Taurasi's 998th on
That's
the
a
list.
bad trade.
no, I was going to get Brianna Stewart.
Oh, okay. Good
yeah,
trade.
because that was my dibs player, so I was going to do it with Mike Malley's dibs player.
Eminem.
So we agreed
Yeah.
to exactly. We
You were
agreed
trying
to
to
this.
fleece Eminem. huh?
No, it didn't let me do. No, he suggested it. It didn't let me do it because she's a protected, locked player, so she couldn't be traded to me. But somehow Juju got the trade to him. So, anyways, the solution that I've worked up with in my head of how to solve this situation, because Rose really wants Caitlin Clark, but now I don't have a good team, and Caitlin is my better player on my team. So, if
I
Rose,
can hear Rose screaming from the other
Yeah.
room, by the
Yeah.
way.
She's yelling.
so
These
here's
walls are also soundproof.
Here's the thing. If Rose wants Caitlin Clark on her team, my proposal is, and this I don't think has ever been done before, and I am putting this in front of you guys to decide whether or not this is okay. If Rose wants Caitlin Clark on her team, I think she's going to have to trade me Tyler Glass now from her fantasy baseball team to my fantasy
Really?
baseball team.
Wow.
Wow.
Crossover. Fantasy crossover
I think that's what we're
trade.
going to have to do.
Wow.
So, Rose, I'd like to propose to you a trade in which you will get, we'll Work out the specifics after. I'll trade you Caitlin Clark in fantasy WNBA, but you trade me Tyler Glass now in fantasy baseball.
I give you anyone you want. In
Okay,
fantasy
perfect.
baseball.
So we'll have this conversation.
Anyone.
I actually already sent you a trade proposal if you want
Anyone.
to
I'm
just accept that.
I'm
Yeah.
already losing.
Okay, great.
She's a bigger
Perfect.
Caitlin Clark fan than Lucy.
It's kind of wild.
And like Lucy didn't even argue with that statement.
But Lucy,
because it's true, which is crazy.
But Rose, how did you allow this to happen and become such a mess?
No. That's not my fault. It was Mike Malley. I told him, okay, at 7.
Eminem.
And Eminem. And I told him, okay, Mike, at 7. He was the only one that answered. And he was like, oh, yeah, 7. I was like, okay, you're the first pick.
He was the first person to ask if it was at 7, and she said yes. So
yeah,
he
and
confirmed
he said yes.
it. Yeah.
He confirmed it.
Yeah.
And then he was not there. And then he took Brianna Stewart. And then you were so mad that you were like, okay, I'm going to get Caitlin Clark. I'm like, Caitlin Clark is not the second option. You could have gone with Sabrina or whoever.
Yeah.
You just went with Caitlin because
Dibs is
you
not
were
a
mad.
thing. Dibs is not a thing.
It is in my league.
It is her league.
It is my league.
I am told that
Nobody
Mike
did it.
Malley didn't come in today because of all of this.
I'm sure.
He's on strike.
Yeah,
Mouse.
he's not in today. He also
Eminem.
sent me like this long thing apologizing for the mess that he made, and I was like, Mike,
no.
I don't really care.
Get over it.
If I'm gonna be honest.
No, you gotta lie and act like you're really upset so
Yeah.
you get something
But
out
he's
of it. Has
new. I don't want
Stugotz
him to
taught you
feel.
nothing?
Yeah, but he's new to town. I don't want him to feel bad about this.
He
Yeah.
gave me Cameron Brink.
But that's not one
She's
of
gonna have
your
the all
Dibs
rookie
players.
team.
No, because I gave him a player that I don't even know who she is.
But that's not how trades work, Rose.
And he felt bad, and he just gave me Cameron Brink. I'm like, okay,
But Rose,
I'll get that.
Feel bad.
this is a problem.
This is an awful league.
It's probably like Enrique Agumbawa. It's probably like a really good player.
I don't feel bad for any of you. Rose, you know how much I love you. You should not be in charge of planning things. Respectfully. You should not.
Why didn't you guys want to be in this fantasy league?
What?
I mean, the exact story you just said.
It's the best fantasy league that anybody has done. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
If you say so.
End of discussion.
End of discussion. Thank you, Rose.
You got Glass now.
Can I close the loop real quick before we go to the top 5 knots?
Yes.
Sure.
I want to close the Mandy Moore loop.
Oh, really? This is us?
Yeah, so we talked about Mandy Moore because she dated Andy Roddick. We talked about Andy Roddick in the Moment Hall of Fame. Then it got to Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore, to close the Mandy Moore loop that only Taylor cares about, used to date Taylor's cousin and went to Taylor's house for Thanksgiving and for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah. And then if we're going to close the Taylor's cousin loop, Taylor's cousin was an actor. That's how. Oh, look, there's Mandy Moore with Taylor's dad. For anyone that knows Taylor's family, I don't know why we're showing that,
Wow,
but
okay.
Taylor's having a moment.
yeah, Taylor is having a moment.
He is, yeah.
Taylor's cousin was an actor and was the person that kept getting pulled over in Super Troopers. So there's Taylor's cousin getting pulled over in Super Troopers, and that is closing the Taylor loop.
Wait a minute. Which one is Taylor's cousin? The guy in
the
the back?
driver?
The driver.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that is the
I
person that
can't
dated
pull
Mandy
over any
Moore.
further.
Yeah. So those loops are closed.
Huh. Glad we did that.
It's a good show for Taylor.
It is.
He is having a moment.
It's crazy.
Where's Tommy?
Top 5 knots?
Yeah. I got the top 5 knots over here. You guys ready? All right. Thanks for answering.
I'm
Ron.
ready.
So
All
these
right,
are your
thanks.
top 5 knots because the Panthers were down 1-0.
Correct.
They tied it up, and I told Roy they have Game 3 tonight in Boston. I told Roy there are a few better knots than knotting a series up at 1 game apiece when you're down 1-0. It's a
Correct.
great knot.
Yeah, it's
Any
absolutely
OLIs, Roy?
No outside looking in. No.
Huh.
No.
Really?
So we just got 5.
Only 5. Wow.
All right.
Straight 5.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Confident.
So many
I
knots.
feel like
I
I, can
know,
think
that's
of
why
10 OLIs just off the top of my head.
All right. Well, we can go with you after the list.
That's okay.
It's his list.
Jeez,
It's your
that's
list.
rude.
Oh,
I
it
don't
is
want
my
to,
list.
dull your shine.
Oh, please. Number 5, astronaut.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Number 4,
That's good.
nachos.
That's
Great
a stretch.
It's a stretch. Okay.
It's his list.
Number 3, not working. Much like this list.
My favorite knot, number 1.
No, number 2.
Number 2, knotting a series up 1-1. And number 1, garlic knots.
It's pretty good.
Thank you.
I like the emphatic phone slam.
OLI not.
Do you like soggy garlic nut? Like, how do you like your garlic knots?
Oh, lots of butter.
Slightly overcooked, right?
Yeah.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Has to be crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Knott's Berry Farm?
Oh, wow.
Oh, aye.
Knott's Landing?
Oh. You know, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Don Knotts?
Yeah. There's a couple of outside looking
Notting
ins now.
Hill.
Don Van Natta?
Oh.
Oh, wow.
There's so many knots. You had so much room for OLIs.
And that brings me back to number 3, not working this list.
Yeah. The bunt line hitch?
Ooh.
That's a knot. I
Wow.
just Googled types of knots. That was the first one that came up.
On the rope.
So Jess asked if I ever did a commencement speech, what that would sound like.
Wait, are we closing the loop? Hold
Ooh,
on.
We're
hold on a
about to.
second.
All
Yes.
right.
Unless we spin the wheel and then we can't do it. Which
I
would be
created-
horrible. Who would do that?
I created a school called the Stugotz School of Broadcasting,
Yeah.
and we did a commencement speech. Here's a
A
piece
what?
of it. A speech. Bo Jackson. Listen up, students, faculty, parents, grandparents, and sponsors, especially the sponsors. Today, you are the greatest broadcasters in the world. You were born to be broadcasters, every one of you. I'm sick and tired of hearing about what great broadcast schools the Ivies have. Screw them. This is your time. I knew it wouldn't be easy to transform sports media, but take it from me. You miss 100% of the takes you don't steal from Greeny, Cowherd, and Pablo. I mean, I've missed more than 9,000 pronunciations in my career. I've lost almost 300 debates. 26 times I've been trusted to make the segment-ending joke and misheard what was said in my ear. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Always remember what you learned on your first day here. Speak loudly and carry a big shtick. You'll go far. We live in a world that has paywalls, and those paywalls have to be guarded by men with journalism degrees. Who's going to do it? You, Lieutenant Wilbon? I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for newspapers, and you curse the blogs and podcasts. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that the death of newspapers, while tragic, probably created better content. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, creates better content. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about in press boxes, you want me on that radio. You need me on that radio.
Jack Nicholson.
That's Dan Van Gundy.
SVG.
It was a lot better than the Ohio State one.
Oh, thank you.
And shockingly, you didn't try to sell me anything, unlike that guy.
Also written on ayahuasca.
Ooh. Is that on the wheel of topics we're not going to talk
Ayahuasca.
about?
Ooh.
Spin it.
Oh, wait. It landed on the TNT NBA rights deal.
Oh.
Whoops, sorry.
You know, Chris Renham is a
What happened there?
fancy lad.
How are you guys so calm with the Panthers playing a game in Boston today? Roy, you're too calm. I don't like it.
Well, it's kind of my personality to be kind of even, so.
I'd like to see you nervous once in a while.
No, that's not me.
Roy, is it stressful playing this role that you're never stressed about anything or nervous about anything?
It absolutely is stressful.
I feel like
for me to not
your
be stressful.
insides must be like killing you.
I think the real question about tonight's game is what is the response to the fight? Like, is Fat Pat going to go after Kachuk? Are you going to see anyone?
By the way, he hates being called Fat Pat.
Well, he is. I mean, have you seen him this series? I mean,
Oh,
geez.
boy.
I mean, I hate that guy. He was on the Lightning forever. He's my least favorite hockey player of all time, and now he's on the Bruins, and he's so slow right now.
Yeah.
He is just out there too. I would not be surprised if he went after Kachuk in this game early.
The whole Fat Pat thing was Jack Edwards, who was the play-by-play guy for the Bruins, called him Fat Pat, and Pat Maroon confronted him about it, and now he's a Bruin.
The thing about Kachuk is he's not just going to fight anybody because he's valuable to his team. He's not going to let the 14th guy on Boston.
He's not the fighter.
He only fought because it was their best player. He's like,
Right.
if Pasta wants to fight, because Boston needs Pasta. Like, he's their best player by far.
Matthew Tkachuk is the guy who starts the scrums. basically, and then he skates away.
He's the agitator, and then he doesn't actually fight usually. But this one, he's just like, if Pasta wants to fight, I'm in.
But you don't want Chucky fighting because he's too valuable to the team. To Chris's point, you can't have him fight.
You can't fight down.
Right.
Pasta, I'm good. Because
you can't fight down.
In worst
that's
case
for sure,
scenario,
yes.
if those guys both go, that's a good thing for the Panthers.
To be clear, Pasta and Fat Pat are different people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pasternak
okay,
is their best player. Fat Pat is their
a
bruiser.
fourth-line player right now.
Yeah.
So Roy knows this. When the Oilers had their run and Wayne Gretzky was close to getting into a fight, or
Marty
Yari
McShirley.
Curry, or Messier, any of those guys, the goons would come over and take care of business.
Yeah.
They didn't want Gretzky getting hurt. They wanted Gretzky on the ice.
That's why Chucky is so amazing.
Yes.
Because he's everything.
Well, we're coming off of a playoff last season where he got hurt. He got hurt off of a hit. We don't need him getting. I say we as if I'm part of the team, but we don't need the Panthers. Don't need him getting hurt based off a fight where he breaks his hand because he punched David.
Yeah,
Pasternak.
but dude, those moments, I get it. Obviously, I don't want Kachuk to get hurt, but that moment where he fought Pasta, like that's why Chucky's here.
Yeah, that's why he has the A on his sweater. That's why he's one of the captains.
I love him so much.
Should have the C though, maybe.
No, that's Alexander.
Wow,
is-
you got mad at me, Roy. You got mad at
Kachuk
me.
is-
They should get a ring if they win.
Kachuk is
I agree.
very quickly moving up the all-time South Florida sports
Whoa.
list.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you, Kachuk, he might be already the #1 Panther of all time.
No, he's
Come on.
Just in terms of
no,
fans.
it's Alexander Barkov.
Crazy.
Not
It's
Beezer?
Beezer. Yeah, it's Beezer.
No, it's not John Van Beezer.
You have to get
It
to a
is.
Stanley Cup,
No,
Roy.
it's not.
Get to a Stanley
They
Cup.
did last year.
I get Barkov has been here longer, but I'm telling you, I think fans would vote Chucky right now over Barkov.
I don't think you understand
to a
how
cup,
Mount
damn
Rushmore
it.
works. So, here's how it works. I'm not an expert on presidents, but if I go to Mount Rushmore, I know who the presidents are. Doesn't mean they were the best presidents. Just means I know who they are when I
Who
look
are
at them
they?
on a mountain. I don't know. But in terms of Panthers, you can't put a Panther on there that, the layman doesn't know who they are.
I mean, I
They
think
know
layman
Chucky.
sports fans know Kachuk.
Are there any Marlins on the South Florida Mount Rushmore?
Jeff Conine.
No,
get
not
that
Jeff
outta here.
Conine. No.
Not
Miguel
Conrad.
Cabrera would be the only nomination.
I
No.
saw yesterday that Monty Harrison is going to play football at Arkansas. Did you guys see this story?
Seeing where all those guys are that we traded, that that one trade that we made,
We had that
Yelich
graphic
trade.
the other day.
the
yeah.
Yelich trade,
Not great.
it's comical.
Right.
Monte Harrison, who's playing college football, is the most successful.
Look
is-
right there. Okay, so here's Mount Rushmore. That's George Washington,
Right.
That's Monty Harrison. Okay, that's Abraham Lincoln.
Uh-huh.
And that's
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
And then Matthew
Thomas
Kachuk.
Is that
right there,
Thomas
the third guy.
Jefferson?
Yeah.
So Matthew Kachuk right there.
So I know them.
Good job.
Honestly, the
Abraham
second guy
Lincoln.
looks like Matthew Kachuk a little bit.
Maybe it
Louis
is. Maybe they just
Brinson.
knew. Yeah.
Jordan Yamamoto.
Yeah.
It's the four
Jordan
players.
Yamamoto's a high school coach now.
Oh.
Louis
There is
Brinson's
room
playing
for
the
a fifth
Mexican
right
League.
there, right? I mean,
There seems to be.
Squeeze one
That's
in.
where
Michael
your,
case there's a
Jordan.
good
your
one.
face goes.
Yeah, The Rock.
Who would be the Marlin on the South
It's
Florida?
Miguel Cabrera is the #1 Marlin.
No.
Well, I mean, if you're doing based
Chris,
on
they won 2 World Series.
I mean, I think that you would put on Dontrell Willis is the most
Steve
one of the
Bartman
most
should be
popular
on it.
ones. Jose Fernandez is very popular.
Levon
obviously.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
Best Marlin of all time is Miguel Cabrera.
I mean, but we're not
Yeah.
doing
Sheffield.
best of all time. We're just.
I
doing,
thought that's exactly what we were doing.
those are the 4 best presidents of all time.
Four,
just
I
do-
like the most iconic. I think is the Mount
Yeah, that's what I'm
Rushmore,
saying.
right? Yeah,
Thomas
that's what
Jefferson,
that's
yeah.
your yeah.
Yeah. That's why Beezer's on
yeah.
there for me.
No. Do I really have to explain
He's
why
problematic.
John Van Beesbrook's not
He's
gonna be-
For
problematic.
South Florida?
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Oh,
No, Beezer's on there.
well, apparently he has issues.
If
No,
he was-
no, no.
We're trying
no,
to talk
he's-
around.
Marino, Beezer, Shula, Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, I'm
That's it.
going to have to explain why John Van Beesbrook.
Hold on a second. Let me ask you guys a question. In this Mount Rushmore, because I'm a new segment called Changing the Subject to save Stugotz. In this, if we're doing a Mount Rushmore
I'm taking
of,
Beezer off. I thought
Oh,
about
kick
it.
saving
Okay, there you go.
Thank you. You know who else kick saving a Beezer? Which is why maybe he's on there.
He's not on there.
Anyway, so if you're doing a Mount
Shula,
Rushmore,
Jimmy
do
Johnson.
you have one per team? Like a Panther, a Marlin, a Heat, and a whatever the fourth is?
Just no goalies.
Dolphin? Yeah.
End of discussion.
Who's the dolphin?
Wait, spin the wheel.
How about
Zonka?
Messi?
Marino.
Yeah, I guess it's.
Oh,
Marino.
the Beezer. We can't talk about it
Oh,
anymore.
Thank God.
Nope.
That one was on purpose.
Guys, this has been a great show.
Ah, man, we had
don't
fun.
know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Don't say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, now is the time.
Bye.
It's on the wall.